Hello, as it is nearly the end of 2017, I'm going to talk to you about whether or not it's a good idea to have New Year's resolutions. A lot of people kind of set them and then they kind of stick to them for like a month and then like they never hear anything of them again. And I think the reason that might be is because a lot of the time the goals that we set for New Year's resolutions are kind of those kind of goals that were probably, they're a bit unrealistic. So for example, everyone kind of joins the gym, don't they, in January, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna exercise more. Like everyone feels like usually that they need to exercise more, need to be a bit more healthier, and they're like, yeah, I need to do it. But then they probably do it for a month and then they don't do it anymore. And it's not because like they're lazy or there's something wrong with that person, or they don't have the determination, the perseverance or whatever. It's just that our brains are kind of wired to resist change, and that's a big change. Like if you're not used to exercising and you're trying to make yourself exercise every day, then it's not going to happen, is it? Like it's, you didn't do it before for a reason, so why would you suddenly just have that flip of a change and be like, yeah, I need to exercise every day? It's not going to happen. A lot of the time people say that goals are ineffective because usually when you set yourself a goal, it's kind of something that's like far off. Like it's something that, you've got to kind of work towards. So for example, I did a master's a couple of years ago, and my goal was to finish my master's. And the whole time working towards it, like you put in so much work to kind of get there and get that master's, and then at the end of it, it's just really kind of like, oh, I've got it now. And it's really, really anticlimactic. And I feel like a lot of the things that I've achieved in life, I've been like stressed and working towards them so much that when I actually get there and I achieve them, they don't feel very good. They don't feel like I've achieved anything. People always say to me, like my mum and my dad and stuff are always really proud of me and, oh, you've achieved so much. But I just don't feel it. Like I don't feel it at all. Like every time I've, set myself something and I've achieved it, like I don't have any feelings about it at all. I'm just glad it's over. I remember my masters, like I'd sent it in, my very last the dissertation at the end of it, and I'd actually missed a section out. God knows how I missed a section out. Like I don't even know. And I think I was on holiday at the time as well. Like I was abroad somewhere, so I couldn't really make much change to it or anything until I got back. And it was like really, really close to the deadline when I got back. And if I hadn't put this section in, I would have failed it. So like when I got back, I had to do some section in it or whatever. And I mean, I don't know if I've just made that up and I've just lied, but I think that's what happened. It seems like that's reality. But anyway, and yeah, so I put this section in and I didn't do it very well, and I was just like, it was gone a long time ago for me. So to go back over it and put that extra section in, I was like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, I was just glad it was over. Like it was just so, like I'd worked really hard and I'd send in an assignment, and my tutor was an absolute arse, and he'd send it back with like loads of things to change without really kind of explaining why it needed changing, and then he'd make the changes and send it back, and then there'd be other stuff wrong with it, and it'd be like, why didn't you tell me that in the first time, because you've only got so many drafts that you can put through. So like after I think it's like 3 drafts, you don't get any more like feedback on it, or it might have been 2 drafts. So it was like, well, you could have given me like this extra feedback. Like I'm trying to get like the top mark and I can't because you've not given me the feedback to get there. So it's like really, really frustrating. But anyway, yeah, so when I'd done it, it was like, oh, thank God it's gone. It just wasn't pleasurable. The attainment of having a master's, it doesn't feel good. Like it's just like, oh, it's another thing that I put myself through. And what did I get at the end of it? Like I got a certificate. Like it makes no difference. Like no, I'm not more employable from having one. Do you know what I mean? Like why did I do it? I mean, I did it for financial reasons because I got it funded. So I had to do it because otherwise it would have expired. So I did it because I was in a position to, and I wouldn't have one otherwise, and I wouldn't have been able to finance it myself. So I kind of just did it because it was there. but you know, to what purpose really? Like I put myself through a lot of stress for nothing really. You know, I was like doing my masters alongside doing my job, and my job's really stressful and I don't have any time to do anything anyway, so it was like so anyway, sidetracking, you know, when you set yourself goals and you kind of achieve them, like you're just left feeling empty. Like you go through life just achieving one thing after another and feeling empty. Like, you know, you have kind of a life plan of I'll go to university, I'll get a degree, I'll go and get a house, I'll get a partner, I'll get get married, I'll have kids, you know, and you just feel empty all the time. You just don't feel psychologically well because you're just going through life kind of trying to attain these goals that you've set yourself that you think are going to make you happy, and they don't. So it's kind of like, what's the answer? Like, should we not set goals at all? You know, I did consider that for a while. I think for the last kind of 6 months or so, I've kind of just been drifting a little bit. I've kind of just been, you know, existing and seeing how that goes. And I just feel stagnant. I feel like I'm not growing. I feel like I'm kind of, yeah, I'm content, or I was content. And I was kind of like okay with how things were, and it was kind of routine. I was thinking, yeah, I could probably live like this. But then I thought, no, actually, I don't feel like I'm becoming my best self. Like, I feel like I'm not living to my potential as a human being. I'm not kind of where I kind of want to be, where I see myself being. I'm kind of incongruent with what I want to be, and so therefore it explains why I'm not completely content at the moment with what, you know, is happening. Just checking it was still recording because the battery's going. And so I was doing a bit of research online, because obviously like the whole not goal setting or whatever, it comes from like from Buddhist kind of, you know, like Zen kind of philosophy, that you should just be happy to be in the moment and kind of you know, you'll be content from not expecting too much from life, to just kind of be more outward rather than inward, and kind of living in the moment, and, you know, not trying to strive for things and just letting them happen. But I think, you know, you can sit in an empty room and wait for things to happen and nothing's going to happen. You kind of have to kind of show up for things to happen. And so you have to kind of put things in place that will make things happen. Like, you have to kind of orchestrate things a little bit. You've got to bring your stuff to the table so that then, you know, fate can deliver the rest. But you've got to show up to the table first. You can't sit at home and just expect life to happen for you. So this year, kind of what I've decided to do, based on my research online, I found this theory that what you need instead of a goal is a system, which makes sense. Because, you know, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, a lot of people do this. It makes no sense to me to diet. I've never dieted in my life ever, and I think diets are really unhealthy for you, because what you're actually doing is by stopping your body from having food, it's going into survival mode and it's kind of storing fat, and then you obviously lose kind of weight, eats into your muscle and all sorts. Not good for you at all to starve yourself, because your body's going, oh my god, I'm starving, like, and it's reacting to it. It's crazy. And then because you can't keep up the diet because it's ridiculous, you're just eating salad leaves and like licking an apple. When you actually start eating again, like, your body then puts all that fat back on, and it's kind of like, I'm not explaining it very well, but it's really, really unhealthy for you. And when you yo-yo, because you will, because you'll still be unhappy with your weight, you'll put it all back on, you'll lose it, you'll put it all back on. It's not healthy. What they say to you is that you need to make life-lasting choices with your meals. So, for example, commit to having smaller meals, commit to eating more of the right stuff, like stop eating crap, like only eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. Like, it's not rocket science. And then you won't be big. And, you know, then there's no problem with being big at all, but you're unhappy with it, that's why you're dieting. So, or, you know, alternatively, sort your head out and just be happy with the size that you are. So, back to kind of systems, like, the systems have to be something that you can kind of do that's realistic. So, an example that I read online, which got my attention because it's something that I want to do. I want to write a book. I've wanted to write a book for a long time. And I started writing a book last year, and I'd only written like a couple of chapters, short chapters, because I'm writing a book that's advice for teachers, because like half of teachers quit within the first 5 years, and the reason they do that is because it's such a stressful job. It's ridiculous. It's kind of like, I never knew that teachers went through the stress that I go through every day, and I think unless you know a teacher intimately, you just don't get it. You don't understand. You think we get holidays. It's like, if you work in the FE sector, you don't get all those holidays at all. Like, and I have to work like 14 evenings a year, which is like, 3 or 4 hours on top of my normal day. And then, so basically that's like 7 days extra work. And then I probably get about, 7 days more holiday than you anyway. So it's like even. So it's kind of like, we don't get all the holidays that you think we do, and we get all the stress. So off topic again. I want to write a book, and I don't know why I haven't done it, because I read back over what I'd written and it was really good. It was really good, and I was like, wow, like that would make an awesome book if I actually finished it. But I didn't finish it because I was too busy kind of just moping about and not really doing anything, because I was so, thinking about stuff rather than actually doing anything. So the system is, you will commit to, once a day for an hour, just sit and write. And that's it. And that's all you got to do. And so every obviously maybe just once a week, and every time you do that, you've achieved it. And it's like a recurrent kind of feedback. You're just doing it all the time. Maybe like say to yourself, okay, once a week, I'm going to go for a run. And you just do that once a week. And then eventually, you hit the goal that you want. In the end, I'll finish the book. In the end, you'll get fitter. In the end, you'll lose the weight that you want. In the end, you'll do whatever it is that you want to do, because you put a system in place, because you've kind of thought about like the process of getting to that goal rather than the goal itself. Setting a goal is quite empty. It doesn't tell you how you're going to get there, whereas the system does. The system's chipping away a little bit at a time. Like, it's going to get you there eventually. I was thinking about like things that I want to do, and things that I want to kind of like the place that I want to get to in my life, and by putting systems in place, it makes sense. Like, it's going to happen. You're going to get there. Like, so this year, 2018, I'm going to put these systems in place. I'm going to kind of think about, what am I going to do to work towards these kind of things that are goals. I mean, yeah, maybe start your list with goals and then think about, how you're going to put the systems in place to kind of achieve them. Actually, like, you've got the ability to kind of think about these things. Think about how you're going to get there and what you're going to do, like weekly, what you're going to do, or bi-weekly. A lot of the time we conceptualise time in weeks, because that's the structure of our like working week or whatever. But you don't have to do that. You can think of it bi-weekly. You can say like every 2 weeks I'm going to do this, and you'll still get there. You're still going to get to where you want to get. If it's bi-weekly, not, you don't have to do it every day. It doesn't have to be something that's difficult for you to do. It's just kind of making sure you're on that path to working towards it, rather than kind of having that goal there. I mean, the other thing that I read about was that having that goal there sometimes makes you aggressively pursue it, and you'll pursue it in, for example, if it's like an exercise one, a running one or whatever, you will kind of like run even through injury and whatever, because you have to run every day, and you'll kind of do it like so that it's not wise to do it. So sometimes goals kind of blinker you and make you think in a way that's not healthy. Systems seem to be a much, like, they make more sense. So I'm going to give it a go, see if it actually changes my behaviour or not, see if I make excuses still and I'm like, oh no, I can't be bothered. So I'll let you know how it goes. Good luck with yours too.